So swap the room around. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to DuePoint. It's lovely to see that you made time on your Tuesday evening to come listen to me. My name is Rob. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. And this evening is a special evening because the format this evening is very different to our usual intro presentation. So tonight is what we call Tell All Tuesday. And as the name says, what we do this evening is we invite some of our wealth engineers that have been with us for the last few months to come share their stories with everybody, right? And that gives maybe a little bit more context for you. Perhaps you can kind of see where the frustration and the hope and the aspirations that other people have, and that might encourage you or it might discourage you. But we hope that a lot of the wealth engineers will answer some of the questions that you have this evening. All right, so let's begin. Like I said, welcome to DuePoint. This is our head office here in Bryanston. We're actually part of another business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. So this is the Constantia logo over here, the little orange one in the corner. That's their building in the background. They're based down the road in Randburg. They are a registered insurance company. They've been around for a very long time, a lot longer than I've been alive for. They were founded in 1952, so they're nearly 70 years old. So they're a very reputable, very well-founded insurance business. The FSP number that we operate in is that one over there, 31111. And you'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got our long-term insurance license on display, our short-term insurance license, our FSP license, our investment license. We've got lots of licenses. And I hope this makes you feel that you can trust the business you're potentially going to be getting into business with, right? Because that's a very important fundamental step for any business opportunity. Okay, so feel free to do a background check on who Constantia is, on who we are, and I hope that makes you feel safe in this business endeavor that we're going to be speaking about this evening. Alrighty, so this is the team, the executive team and the management team here at DuePoint. The three characters on the far left are all registered chartered accountants, okay, and then Jane and I, we aren't chartered accountants, so I always tease and say we've got smiles, real smiles on our faces, and the accountants aren't really smiling. They're pretending to smile because the photographer told them to. Because if you speak to any accountant, they all say, I don't know why I studied accountancy at varsity. I regret it. Anyway, they're very good at what they do. Brendan is our senior executive here at DuePoint. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because his entire life has been spent in the realm of insurance. Lucky for him. And that's because their father is a professor of insurance. So Dr. Brian Benfield, he taught at Wits for about 25 years, professor of insurance. He founded Clientele Life and the IFA. And then Stuart and Brendan, they grew up, and I'm sure their father's very proud of them because they went on to found Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, which we all know is based down the road. Very successful short-term insurance company. So they've been involved in insurance all their lives. Then we've got Tim. Tim comes to us from a very large banking organization, First Rand Group, where he worked directly beneath the CEO there. And we convinced him to come join us here at DuePoint. So I don't think the jobs get cushier than the one he had in the corporate world. Yet I think he saw what DuePoint was able to offer and what we promised to do. And then we've got Stacey, the last chartered accountant. Stacey hasn't realized that she regrets being an accountant yet because she's still fairly young. But she's got a fair amount of experience in South Africa as well as abroad. She worked at Deloitte in Luxembourg for a while before she came back to South Africa, and she was looking also to join one of the big banks, right? I think that's where everyone thinks the money is. But we convinced her to come join us here at DuePoint. And then the two non-accountants, the really happy people. Here's Jane. So Jane is the smile of DuePoint because she's always in reception. If you come to DuePoint, you'll always see her. She'll welcome you with open arms in her Yorkshire accent because she's from York in England. If anyone's been to York in England, I don't know. I assume it's the accent she has, unless she's been lying to us. But she's been in South Africa for 10 years already, still hasn't lost the accent. But she's got a wealth of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is key to this business that we're going to be speaking about. So she's a great asset to our team. And then me, tallest, best looking. The joke never gets old. It's my presentation. When Brendan stands on the box, he says he's also the tallest and the best looking when he gives the presentation. But I come to you from marketing and advertising. So I actually did a little stint in engineering, and I realized this was going to go the same way as accountancy, and I got out of engineering, went back into marketing and advertising, started a digital agency at a fairly young age. I think I was about 23 years old, and I ran that for about 17 years, fairly successfully. We operated largely in financial services and in the tourist industry. We worked on big brands, the likes of Investec, ABSA, Standard Bank, FNB, a lot of the big banks, a lot of the smaller finance houses and the investment houses. But the writing was on the wall for me. And I'll expand on that story a little bit later. But I got out of the business, and fortunately Brendan had a position, and I was very happy to work with him because I thought he was a really ambitious person. So I was very happy to join the team here at DuePoint. So this is the team that's leading DuePoint. Our mandate here is to make our wealth engineers as successful as possible. So we have something in common. You want to be successful and effective as wealth engineers. I want you to be successful and effective as a wealth engineer. And that's also a very important fundamental step when you get into a partnership with anyone, is that you have common interests or common goals and ambitions. Okay. So why have you been brought to this presentation this evening? Some people get dragged to these presentations, right? But it's generally on the premise of wanting to make more money, to put it crudely, right? So I assume the guests here, no, the wealth engineers, but the guests here this evening, are you here to make more money? No, not really. Are you here to make more money? Yes. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. I almost sent all of you outside, upstairs to the bar on the 3rd floor next door, and then you could have had a sundowner and gone home after spending 30 Rand for a beer. Yes, we're here to make more money. Right? Why? Well, there's a couple of factors. You know, some of us want to make more money. Some of us need to make more money. And a couple of the factors that we look at that contribute to this need or this premise, one being the economy. So the economy is something that we don't have any control over, unfortunately. Does anyone think the economy is doing wonderfully well for them at the moment? Right? It's fairly depressing. Brendan says he doesn't even bother listening to the news because it'll force him to immigrate. And I don't like actually listening to the news either. It's all just bad news. Moaning about this, moaning about that, moaning about the economy. But it's a fact of life in South Africa. And it's affecting lots of other countries. But in South Africa, certainly, the economy is not great. 2016, the economy was flat. In other words, there was no growth in the economy. Companies weren't growing, right? A lot of the companies were under duress. I know this firsthand. My wife works for the biggest private employer in the country. She's got 160,000 staff that she oversees from a labor regulation point of view. So she oversees all the retrenchments, the strikes that happen in their company, people that get fired, people that get hired, all the labor regulation. So we experience what the economy or the effect the economy is having on big business firsthand at home. Because you'll get calls or briefs at the office saying, we need to retrench this many people. Companies need to survive, right? You can't really take it personally when you see companies having to restructure and retrench. And it doesn't happen to only the people at the bottom. We always think it's at the people at the bottom. She works for a mining company. We always think it's the mine workers, the rock drillers that are getting retrenched. You hear on the radio, oh, they're retrenching the mine workers. But it affects everyone because I see her retrenching colleagues at head office with her. Doctors, geologists, accountants, lawyers. So if they're not safe from retrenchment, who's safe from retrenchment in this economy? Right? Nobody. Okay? So it's a fact of life that we have to deal with. Another aspect that we like to look at that contributes to this premise of wanting to make more money is this 4-letter word here. You see this lovely 4-letter word? Can you see it there? Right? That's our favorite word. South Africans love debt. Right? You know it. Right? You don't get forced into debt. You've got to say, yes, please, I want some debt. And we all say, yes, please. And there are a number of debt instruments that we all partake in as South Africans, okay? So here's a little animation of when you earned your first salary and it got paid into a bank account. And when it got paid into a bank account, you entered the fiscus because now you were paying tax and you're contributing to the GDP. And the bank saw this as a wonderful thing because you became a potential client, potential good client. So they offer you things like credit cards. How many credit cards does the average South African need? One. One's never enough. You're not even cool if you only have one credit card in your wallet. If you open up your wallet, how many slots are there for credit cards? If you only got one, then you must be poor, right? You need at least 3 or 4 credit cards, right? So a great thing, very convenient having a credit card. And the bank will tell you, oh, you have to get a credit card because you need a credit record. Another one, car loans. Another wonderful trait of South Africans. We love our cars. And I'm looking mostly at the men, right? You go speak to one of our big wealth engineers here, he'll tell you he wants a Bentley. 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. But South Africans, we love cars, and we're willing to spend a large portion of our salaries on cars. Well, hopefully you haven't bought a Cougar. Because as much as cars are bad investments, buying a Cougar, well, you probably get a good deal on a Cougar now if you went out to buy one, so probably not the worst option, right? But South Africans, 10 million cars on the road, only 30% are insured, okay? Another debt instrument that South Africans partake in, home loans. And again, we're really bad at engaging with debt. And when it comes to home loans, again, we're bad at it. We go out and we all know, oh, the bank's going to give me a term for 20 years, right? So I'm earning this much. What's the biggest house I can get and pay for the next 20 years? Which is just the worst way to approach a loan. You need to look at getting a house that costs you half that you can pay off in a quarter of the time. Okay, and we'll see how this plays into the opportunity we're going to be speaking into. So all of this data, we get a lot of data from the Financial Services Board. They send us data every year, all these statistics about South Africans and in what a poor spot in terms of finances we find ourselves in. So the average South African spends half his salary repaying debt, right? You get your salary half goes to debt. You know that beautiful thing called the debit order? It just takes the money. You said, yes, take my money, but it takes the money, 50% gone. Now you still have cost of living. So cost of living, groceries, transport, hopefully you're putting money away in an investment, and we'll look at that a little more closely. You need money for emergencies. You might want to send your kids to a decent school. That costs a lot of money. So you've got all these expenses. The problem is when you're stretched financially every month, you've got no room to move. And the economy that we find ourselves in has a habit of having interest rates go up. And when an interest rate goes up, all your debt goes up. So if half your salary is going to debt, when there's a 1% increase in the interest rate, all that debt goes up. And now you're spending 55% of your salary on debt. And if you were stretched at the end of the month, it means you've got less money for all those things like groceries, for sending your kids to school, for saving towards your retirement. And we see that South Africans will compromise on a few things first. Insurance. Leave the insurance. Don't need it. Investments. Don't need the investments. I keep the DST, but I won't pay for the investment. Right? And so we find South Africans in this position where only 2% of us are getting to retirement financially independent. 2%. So that's maybe 1 or 2 people in the audience. The rest of us, pretty much all of us in this room, are going to retire financially dependent. We're going to get to retirement not having saved enough, and now suddenly we need to make a plan. So we actually can't afford to retire. We get to this position where we're 60 or 65 and we're not in a position to be able to live like we've been. So either we've got to downgrade our lifestyles, sell the house, buy a caravan. Sell the BMW, buy a Cougar. Right? All these things, these dramatic events have to take place for us just to survive. Right? And it's a very stressful situation to be in. Ooh, what was that? I felt like I was in the airport there for a second. Okay. So, we talk about retirement planning. So this is an article that Tim sent me, because he likes me. It scared me, that he found on Fin24. So Fin24's website, they published this article on the 19th of September. It's predicated on some new data that shows the mortality rate of South Africans going up. So if you're retiring at 65, average people only survived like another 10 years. People dying today are dying at an average of the age of 73, 74 years of age. That's fairly young. Kids being born today, they reckon their mortality's in the hundreds, right? Because we've got all these advances in medical aids and medical services and health, and people are now going to gym, maybe only in January, but they're starting to go to gym and they're eating healthier and they're becoming a lot more aware of health and wellness, right? So our mortality rate shot up. What does that mean? It means when you retire at 65, you have to support yourself not for 10 years, for 20 years, maybe 30 years, okay? And this data is predicated on that new information. So how much money do you have to save? This is where I got scared. So if you think you can survive on 5,000 Rand a month once you retire, you only have to have saved R1 million in cash. R1 million in the bank, no debt, R1 million, and that R1 million will give you about 5,000 Rand a month, which you can then live on. And it starts eating into the capital. So you're not going to have R1 million left when you get to 95. You need to die around 90, 95, right? So you need to plan carefully. This is the beauty of retirement planning. Your financial advisor will say, okay, when are you retiring? You say, 65. When you think you're going to die? Right? So 5,000 Rand is not enough, surely. 26,000 Rand. 26,000 Rand sound better? Maybe you've paid the house off and things are looking good. You don't have any debt. 26,000 Rand seems a lot better. You have to have saved 5 million Rand in liquid assets. If you're under the age of 25 here, anyone? Under the age of 25? Start saving 4,000 Rand a month for the next 40 years. And then you'll be in that position. It's called responsible retirement saving, planning, right? Only the accountants do this, by the way. Someone like me, I only look at my bank account maybe once a year and panic. It's usually in December, January time. But this is what you've got to do. If you depend on your employer and the salary that you're getting, and that's it, you better be doing this. Otherwise, your retirement is going to look like a dismal mess. You're going to become dependent on your kids. You're going to have to downgrade your lifestyle to the extent where some people actually commit suicide. That's how desperate it gets, okay? And that's 98% of the population, which is crazy, which points to the fact that this is not realistic for us. I mean, to earn 52,000 Rand a month, 8,000 Rand a month, and by the way, these figures that you have to save every month, 7% annual increase for 40 years to get to this position. Okay, so it's not realistic. Another statistic that we get is the average South African only starts saving when they're in their 50s. Why so late? Because for the first time, you've paid your house off. You've only finished paying the bank. Remember, you took out a 20-year bond. So a lot of us will probably wait till we're in our 30s, mid-30s, before we're able to buy a house, if we're lucky. But a 20-year bond means we're only going to finish paying the house off when we're in our 50s. If we have kids, when do the kids eventually get out the house and hopefully through varsity and stop asking us for money? Probably when we're in our 50s. And so for the first time, South Africans only have money to start saving and investing when they're in their 50s. But it's clearly too late, because this data says you have to save for 40 years, not 10. Okay, and this is why the majority of us, the large majority of us, find ourselves in the problem of being dependent when we reach retirement. Okay, so out of all this negativity, we saw the opportunity. We saw an opportunity to empower South Africans to start doing something to change their situation. And you need to look forward. You need to look forward. It's not something we all do. Only accountants look forward into the future, right? Because they like to budget with an Excel spreadsheet, right? But we need to do that. So the DuePoint system was developed, and a division called DuePoint was founded within Constantia, and it offers you guys an opportunity, a business opportunity, okay? And we have 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. So I guess if you become a wealth engineer, we've got 3 goals that we want you to envisage for yourself. One is to become debt-free. become debt-free. Can you imagine yourself completely debt-free? No debit orders going off your account. None. Your salary comes in, and perhaps what DuePoint's paying you comes in, and the money just sits there. It's like magic. Hey? It doesn't disappear. It seems completely unrealistic, but that's one of the aspirations we have for our wealth engineers. We want you to become debt-free as quickly as possible. And the second aspiration is for you guys to start creating value, wealth, in something that you have ownership over, that doesn't have an underlying debt instrument. You know, we all think, if I can just afford to buy a house and pay it off, I'm fine. You're paying the bank back 2.5 times what the value of the house is. By the time you finish paying the house off, you've probably had to repaint it 5 or 6 times. It's falling apart. How much of an asset is it in 20 years' time? Okay? So we want you to start investing in something that you have ownership over that potentially grows every month. And then the third aspiration happens on its own. Because if you're debt-free and you're creating value in an investment that you have ownership over, you get to liberate yourself. How many of us are stressed at the end of every month? Now picture being debt-free and only having money that grows. Are you going to be stressed at the end of every month? Financial stress seems to play such a major role in our lives. I'm sure it causes cancer in all of us, right? So if we can sort out those two things, I promise you, you'll be liberated. There'll be no stress at the end of the month, and you will connect again with those dreams and aspirations that you once had. Remember when you didn't have bills, when you didn't sign the first debit order? You have to think back far now, I know, for some of us. But think about how your imagination used to run wild about what you wanted to be, where you wanted to live, the car you wanted to drive, the holidays you wanted to go on, the places you wanted to see, the people you could help. I promise you we will connect you with those aspirations again if you get those first 2 goals right. Okay, so those are the goals of DuePoint. How does it work? You guys get to contract with us. So if you're a guest here, you contract with us, we call you a wealth engineer. And as a wealth engineer, you only have to do one thing, and that is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And I'll talk about that a little later. Channels of distribution. Into those channels of distribution, DuePoint, Constantia, will sell its product. Okay, that's basically how this business works. The benefits thereof are an additional income stream. This is the only way you're going to pay your debt off faster, is by creating a second income stream. Listen to Warren Buffett. I hope everyone knows who Warren Buffett is. Probably the most successful investor the world has ever seen. He told everybody, make sure you don't depend on a single source of income. Okay? I think for some South Africans, it seems like a desperate measure. When you go out and you're hustling and you're trying to be an entrepreneur and you're trying to develop a second source of income, they think you're desperate. Right? It's got nothing to do with that. It's about empowering yourself. Recurring income. This business allows you to start creating residual value, which means it pays you a recurring income. And this is the primary reason I quit my job. The business that I started, I left. Because we couldn't create a recurring income stream for ourselves. We had to go out and chase the same amount of work every month, and at the end of every month, we would start at 0 again. If I didn't go to work that month, I wouldn't make a cent. I had to go to work. I sold time. I had designers, I had developers. We were all just selling our time. This business doesn't do this. This business allows you to put effort in, which can potentially pay you month after month after month after month. Okay? Very important. You get to earn while you sleep. That's a phrase my father coined. Power duplication. How do CEOs pay themselves such big salaries and bonuses? There was an uproar about how much the Checkers CEO gave himself. Right? What did he give himself? 36 million rand bonus last year? 100? The man's worth 80 billion rand. Why? Because he leverages everyone that works for him. Right? That man has the same amount of hours in a day that we have. Do you realize that? Same amount of time. This business allows you to leverage your time through the power duplication. Those channels of distribution that I speak about is your opportunity to go out and build teams that you can collaborate with. So if you've got a limited amount of time to spend in this business, when you have a team working for you, you have combined time. So if you only have 2 hours a week, but there's 10 of you, that's 20 hours a week, right? And you collaborate together for your financial benefit. So you'll benefit out of that financially. It's completely flexi time, this business. You're accountable for your own time. If you sign up this evening and I never see you again, you're not going to get a phone call from me, I promise. You need to decide how much time you want to commit to this business. It's completely up to you, okay? No startup capital required. It's a very low-risk endeavor, this. There's no 12-month contract or 24-month contract. There's no stock that we ask you to buy in bulk before you leave. So it's very low risk. There's no qualifications or experience required to get involved in this business. I like to say this business levels the playing field completely. It doesn't matter where you come from, what color you are, whether you've got matric or not, whether you've done a degree or not. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you're friends with. Everyone is treated the same here. You put in effort, you reap reward, right? No favors in this business. You get to build an asset. So this is a very important benefit, because when I ask you to make a commitment to a business like this, at least have ownership over it. Why do you think people, entrepreneurs that go out and try to start their own businesses, sweat and toil trying to get their businesses up and running? It's because they own those businesses. It's theirs. They're accountable to themselves, right? And this business is the same. You have legal ownership over this channel of distribution that you built for yourself. You can sell it. You can seed it to your beneficiaries if something had to happen to you. You can give it to your kids when you're 95 and you're ready to retire. Okay? No selling involved. There's no selling involved. Who got dragged here and thought they were going to be asked to sell something? Eh? There's no selling involved, guys. You should be cheering. Now you're thinking, what on earth are we going to be doing? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. The nature of our business, because it's a financial business, we don't have tangible product. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Imagine I was selling milkshakes. I said, guys, this is a great business. We're going to be selling milkshakes. It's the tastiest milkshake you've ever had. You need to buy about 10,000 Rand stock up front. It expires in 60 days. And you're going to have to fight with your spouse to make space in her shoe closet to put the milkshakes in. Right? Then you want to see panicked selling when it's 2 days before expiry on the product that you bought. So we make this business as easy and as convenient to get involved in as possible. Okay? And that can be a double-edged sword. Some people don't take it seriously enough if there's not enough risk. Sometimes say to Brendan, let's make it 10,000 Rand to join the business. Then people will take it more seriously. But it isn't. We want everyone equal opportunity, access to this business to change their own futures. Okay. So here's our first wealth engineer, Sandra. Sandra, come talk to us. Sandra's a little bit nervous. I don't know why, because she deals with clients every single day. And she's in the beauty business, and we all know the beauty business, they talk. I go for a haircut, and the nail lady next to me, talk. So Sandra, don't be nervous. Come stand on this side of me. So you've been with us since the 6th of August.
Yes.
So what is that, about 5 months?
5 months.
5 months.
Yes.
Sandra is on already just over 3,000 Rand a month. Okay. Do you want to share with the audience? Yeah, well done. Would you like to share with us your initial perception of DuePoint? Because you were also dragged here by somebody, I think.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Share with us what that experience was like for you, what you thought about the business initially, and how that kind of unfolded for you.
I think like everybody else, when Yvonne told me about DuePoint, I was like, oh my God, it's one of maybe those schemes whatsoever. And then I remember that day, I was like, okay, we've made an appointment for Saturday. I work for Alex FM as well. So I was at the studio. And then after reading my news, when I walk out, I was like, oh, there is Yvonne at reception waiting for me. I don't know. Okay. And I was like, you know what, Yvonne, it's fine. Let's go. I don't have a choice now. She's here. We got here, attended the presentation. You know what? after the presentation, I was the one who asked Yvonne, where do I sign? Because like I was so happy and I saw the risk-free and everything. So there was nothing to hide. Like,
yeah, I think that early trepidation is only natural.
Exactly.
Right? You've never heard of DuePoint. You've got some person that's trying to take you
Yes.
somewhere. You don't know what's happening.
everything
Lots
is
of
free.
schemes
You don't
floating
need
around.
money. Yes, you don't need money to join DuePoint. It's free like that. So they just need your effort to make money. That's it.
Okay, so then the next 5 months unfolded. Tell me about, because you've certainly been committed. We see Sandra here almost every single night. And you're a business owner,
Yes.
right? So I'm sure you're pressed for time. You said you work at one of the radio stations.
You know what? I
So
own
is this your third job?
This is my third job. I always call it my second home because like all the time I'm here. I own a spa in Randbeck. Weekend I work for Alexa FM. Can you imagine Monday to Monday I'm working, but like I'm here. That is why most people when they tell me we don't have time, I'm like duh. I'm the one, like really now you don't have time is you don't understand. I don't have time, but like I've made it because like I know how important the future is.
And what do you see in your future? What drives you to come here all the time, to have a third job? What is it that you want for your future?
You know what? At the moment, of course, yes, I don't have time because like I have 3 jobs. I don't like it when I don't have time for my kids. You don't understand? But like I know with DuePoint, maybe 5 years from now or even 3 years from now, I'll have time with my kids. We'll enjoy it together.
Yeah, look, it's, you know, we talk often about financial freedom, but ultimately what we're talking about is time freedom.
Exactly.
Right? And the relief of stress, hopefully empowering your own children.
Yes, yes.
Hopefully they'll be as hardworking
Let
as
me
you
share
are.
you. Let me share this with you. My 9-year-old was like, "Mama, when can I join DuePoint?" I was like, "Why are you asking?" Because like I saw that you're making money from DuePoint. I was like, "My boy, you can only join DuePoint when you are 18." I was like, "Okay, Mama, I'll join DuePoint. I'll remind you that I wanna join DuePoint when I'm 18." I was like, "Wow, okay, come boy."
No, that's wonderful. So you also shared with me a little earlier that you have a passion for travel.
Yes, yes.
Tell us where you want to travel to.
Oh God, you know what? Money is limiting us. So I know that like when I make more money with DuePoint, I can travel to Hawaii with my family. So
Why
that is
do you want
what
to go to Hawaii when Umhlanga Rocks is the same?
you know. Hawaii is different. I love Hawaii. I don't know why, but like you know what? I just love the environment. I've never been there, but I've just seen it from the pictures. I just want to be there, touch the soil, touch the water. Maybe it's different. Yeah. So.
Do you know how to do the hula dance?
I will learn from there. When I get there, I'll do everything.
Okay, but you know, we at DuePoint love travel as well. You know, we've got an incentive that's around the corner.
Yes.
Are you hoping to get to Constantia in
You
the
know,
Cape?
you know what, my team? Let's do this. We're going. Anyone who's here, we're going. This is doable. We're going. Yes.
And then a little bit later, not a very long time, a little bit later, there's a second holiday.
Yo, that one. I told my family last year, November. I was like, you know what? Next year, Christmas, don't hope like I'll be around because like I'll be in Mauritius. So, December, I'm going to Mauritius. I don't know about you, but like I'm going to Mauritius in December. Let's hope we're going, guys. This is doable. Don't drag your feet. Hurrying.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandra. Thanks for your awesome commitment. We look forward to having you on the beach with us. Alrighty, guys. And that's a great strategy. Tell your family, tell your kids that you're doing DuePoint, and if they want to end up in Mauritius, you've got to make sure mommy or daddy is doing work every single day. And then they can hold you accountable. Alrighty. So what are these channels of distribution, right? This is all you need to do here at DuePoint. What we want you to do is after a presentation like this, you might become impassioned by what I've told you about. You might want to change your future, empower yourself, and you become a wealth engineer. And as a wealth engineer, you go out and you speak to people. That's all we want you to do. Tell people about the DuePoint opportunity. And when you're successful in that, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. So there's your first 5 people that you've introduced. They could be friends, they could be acquaintances, they could be strangers or colleagues, right? But because of the power duplication that we use here at DuePoint, this is what your channel could look like after some time. It has this organic growth that happens. And this is you leveraging everyone who has joined your channel for your own financial benefit. So every single one of these little dots on the screen, you're potentially getting paid for, not at the end of a single month, but at the end of every month, right? So this is what your channel of distribution looks like. And this is one of the fundamental things that we want you to do as a wealth engineer. So there's no selling involved here at DuePoint. Alrighty, so here we have our disclaimer slide. I love this slide. Take a look at the beautiful legs of the ballerina over here. Notice this is what we usually associate a ballerina with, right? A professional ballerina. If anyone's been to the State Theatre, gone to look at the ballet there, very fancy, I know. This is what you see. But to become a professional dancer, this is what you have to experience, right? I dated a ballet dancer when I was very young, and they've got very ugly feet. They need to go visit Sandra every week. But this is what business is like. So I'm sure a lot of our guests might have arrived thinking, as Sandra said, it's one of those things, one of those get-rich-quick schemes. And I think in the desperation of our economy, there are so many of these floating around at the moment. But you're talking to a business that's nearly 70 years old. We're regulated by the FSB. This is not one of these schemes. We're offering you an authentic business opportunity, an entrepreneurial opportunity. And if you've ever had the pleasure of trying to run your own business or start a business, you will realize how difficult it is. So I'm not going to tell you it's an easy business, right? I'll tell you that it's easy to get involved with, right? Sure. And we make it as simple as possible. But to be successful in anything, whether it's going to gym or whether it's starting a new business, requires sacrifice. It requires time. It requires change. So I want you guys, if you're interested in this business, by the end of this evening, I'm going to ask you to make a decision at the end of the presentation. But over the next 20 minutes, I want you in your head to realize, okay, by the end of this presentation, I can see myself sacrificing some time every week to invest in a business opportunity like this. Okay. So don't think you're going to be rich after 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. I want you to think a year ahead, 3 years ahead, 5 years ahead, and see where you could potentially be. Retirement for me is potentially 20 years away. Can I tell you how quickly the last 20 years has disappeared? In a flash. I went ice skating with my daughter on the weekend, and someone said to me, "When last did you go ice skating?" And then I had to almost pull a calculator out, and I thought, geez, 28 years ago. What have I been doing with my life? So guys, do not waste this year or the next 5 years or the next 20 years, okay? So that's our disclaimer. Let's get on to the good stuff. How we pay our wealth engineers. So this is how the returns work. The returns is what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. These are the mechanics. We pay a base return fee of R27.50 for every product that we're able to place in your channel. Okay, remember those first 5 people that you introduced to DuePoint? They lie on your first point because they are 1 point away from you. And on your first point, we don't pay you R27.50, we pay you double that, R55 for every product. And remember, it's recurring income. So we pay you every month. Point 2, friends of friends, colleagues of colleagues, acquaintances of acquaintances, those people that went out and did the same thing. And these individuals lie on your second point. Can you see? They're now 2 points away from you. And again, we pay you R55 for every product, every single month going forward. 2.3, 2.4, all the way down to 0.8. You can see the multiplier drops to 4%. So now we're paying you on 0.8 and beyond, R1.10 for every product, every month. The important thing to note is that we don't limit you at 0.8. So from 0.8 onwards, in theory into infinity, we will pay you for every product that lands up in your channel, every month. So there's no limit on how big your channel can become, and there's no limit on how much you can earn at DuePoint. You could be here for the next 20, 30 years right? No limitations on your returns. So this is the mechanics. Fairly simple to understand, I think. What we did was, with those very exciting accountants, we got them to do some work in Excel, and they came up with what we call the path to success. And what this is it's just an illustration that shows you how much money you could be earning after a certain amount of time, okay? This is based on what we call a 3+2 growth model. So the 3 means that we hope you could put 3 people into the business in the first month. The 2 represents every consecutive month. So you join tonight, hopefully you get 3 people in January. In February, you only have to put in another 2. In March, another 2. April, another 2. May, another 2. And so on. That's why we call it the 3+2 growth model. And we've taken into account the people that cancel their products, and the people that don't have money in their accounts, and the people that sit on the couch and don't do anything with their businesses, right? We predict that you could be earning 2,500 Rand after 6 months. Now, I love this example, because I can see everyone's faces thinking, 2,500 Rand, is that a lot of money? Is that a little bit of money? I could use 2,500 Rand because I don't have anything right now. But maybe after 6 months of work, some people think 2,500 Rand isn't that much, right? I know a lot of people that think, geez, 6 months of work for 2,500 Rand, you must be joking. But let's give it a little bit of context, because we have that 4-letter word that is affecting our lives, right? Debt. So here we have an example of R1 million worth of debt in the form of a house, a home loan. And you've gone to the bank, and the bank's agreed to give you R1 million cash as long as you promise to pay it back over the next 20 years. So you're probably going to be paying the bank back 11,500 Rand every month for your bond for the next 20 years. So I'm 40 now. If I take my bond out now, I'm only going to be finished paying when I'm 60. Okay? And then I joined DuePoint. And 6 months later, after hard work, I get to 2,500 Rand. And instead of spending the 2,500 Rand on new shoes, I like shoes, I overcome that desire, and I put it into the debt that I have. Remember, our first aspiration, become debt-free. So I take the 2,500 Rand, I put it into the bond. It will reduce the term on that bond from 20 years down to 11.5 years. Now I get to pay the house off when I'm 51.5, not 60. That 2,500 Rand every month has saved me R1 million in repayments. Can you believe that? How does 2,500 Rand save you R1 million in repayments on R1 million house? I don't know what these banks are up to. Right? I had to go Google it because I didn't believe the accountants. But that's crazy. That little 2,500 Rand, it's going to save you R1 million in the long run. And you were thinking on slide 4, how am I going to save R1 million in cash? That's almost impossible. 2,500 Rand, 6 months away. 6 months away, potentially. Okay? So long as you don't spend that money on shoes, or lunches, or a new car, or a cougar. Okay? So you keep going. After 12 months, you could be on nearly 10,000 Rand a month. Right? Now it's starting to look good. It's over 100,000 Rand a year. Okay? You keep going. After 24 months, you're on nearly 30,000 Rand a month. Everyone knows that you can buy a new Porsche 911 for 30,000 Rand a month. I promise you there are people driving around in 911s that can't afford it. They earn 40,000 Rand a month. They spend 30,000 on a car. I'm a little bit jealous, but you keep going, okay? After 36 months, a short 3 years, you're nearly 50,000 Rand a month. You want to look at the bond example again? Here's a 5 million Rand bond, because now you're a high flyer. So you've got a 5 million Rand house. You're earning, after 30 months, probably 37,000 Rand a month. Put it into the bond. What is it going to do to that bond? It's going to reduce the term from 20 years to less than 7 years. 7 short years. And you've paid your 5 million Rand house off. No bond payments anymore. So you decide to do it again. Go buy another 5 million Rand house. You pay it off again. Now it's 14 years in, you've got 2 houses. 5 million Rand each. So you do it again, right? Because I'm 40. I've got 20 years, 21 years. I can pay off 3 houses to the value of 5 million Rand each. I live in the one, I rent the other 2 out. What does my retirement look like? When I tell Brendan, I'm tired of giving presentations here, the people, they never laugh. Hey? I'm ready to retire. I've got 2 houses to the value of 10 million rand that I'm renting out. What is that? That's passive income of what? 50, 60, 70,000 rand a month? Guys, this is the retirement that we want you guys to look at. It's not saving the 8,000 rand a month, hoping that your employer is not going to retrench you. It's unrealistic. If you're in that position, you need to change it. Whether it's with DuePoint or some other method, you need to change it. Okay? So we keep going. 36 months, 48 months, nearly 70,000 rand a month. After a short 60 months, which in maths terms is 5 years, you could be in excess of 1 million rand a year. You're earning 1 million rand a year from your flexi-time job. Right? How quickly does your flexi-time job start paying you more than your full-time job? Isn't that an awesome position to be in? Guys, 5 years is a short way away. But you have to get to month 1, to month 2, to month 3 before you can get to month 60. Okay? And this is purely an example. This example, like I said, was based on that growth model called 3+2. If you join and become a wealth engineer and you sit on the couch, you're going to be 0 plus a 0. And how much will you get paid at the end of the month? 0. I can see we're all accountants here. That's how life works. But you can do more than 3+2. You're free to do more than 3+2. Okay? You can do double that if you want, triple it. How much time do you want to commit to this business? And with that, we've got Ntabi Singh, who's from the corporate world. Come up. Yes, give her a warm welcome. There you go, madam. Okay, let's take a look at these numbers. Joined at the end of September, so that's October, November, December, 3 months, right? 3 months, started earning a measly 500 rand in her first month, tripled it in the second month, and quadrupled it. Is that right?
Amazing.
Quadrupled it. Is my maths all right? Quadrupled it the
lines,
month after that. So the numbers look awesome. Tell me again. I love to hear how people were introduced to DuePoint. Were you dragged here? Did you try skip the meeting? Tell us about your introduction to DuePoint.
Evening, guys. I met Pumi. I think all of you know who Pumi is, as my friend. So we met at a restaurant, and she invited me over for the presentation. And she didn't give more information.
She was vague.
Yeah, she was very vague about that. And I said, I hope it's not one of those Ponzi schemes, because I'm a wounded lion. So they say once beaten, twice shy. So I don't want the same thing, having repetition. I came to the presentation. Brendan was giving the presentation, and I saw insurance. Does that mean then I have to sell? Not really keen in selling, and the presentation went on and on and on. And at the end of the presentation, I was like, wow, this is really a life-changing and opportunity, and I'm in.
Just like that?
Just like that, yeah.
Okay. Must have been a good presentation by Brendan.
Indeed, yeah.
None of the wealth engineers said it started when I went to Rob's presentation. So when it started, I went to Brendan's presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah, so at that moment, I said, I'm in. For you to you don't have to, in this business, what I've realized, you don't have to convince people to join DuePoint. Share it from your heart, and those who resonate with it, automatically they'll come with you. So don't force anyone to do it. It's all about telling them what it can do for them, not trying to sell it to them, because they won't be interested. So that's what I do now. I don't convince anyone.
Okay, so you're from the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
And I think most of us would think, well, if you're in the corporate world, you've got a cushy job, why would you want to create a second source of income for yourself?
Unfortunately, that's not reality. We all have those monster debts that you make sure that you make provision for the debit date when it's due, but before month end, you're back.
Yep.
So it's like an extension of your salary. You extending your salary with that debt. So every month you spend, you provide so you can keep a clean credit score, but before month end, you just go back. So, you know, when I saw this opportunity, I said, that's it. That forgot, you're gone. Immediately I knew it, that I'm going to retire comfortably. My kids always wanted to go to Disney World. So
Oh, that's
in
expensive.
2 years' time, definitely I'll be taking my kids to Disney World.
Okay.
That dream house that I wanted, I'm definitely going to build that house. And come retirement, I'll be debt free. And I'll be enjoying my retirement.
Awesome. So you've got
Yeah.
some wonderful aspirations for yourself. Okay, I know. Disneyland's very expensive. I haven't gone. I can't afford it. I can't become a wealth engineer either, so I'll probably just stay here. So tell us, you've got at nearly 6,000 Rand a month, you must have a wonderful channel, some guys that you brought into the business that are committed, that are building. Do you want to give them a message,
I've
some
got
encouragement?
wonderful, wonderful, hardworking people in my channel. I'm very grateful. It's not about me, it's about all of us. Together we can. And I'm very happy that we are building a strong channel. And it's not only about, it's not a numbers game. Make sure that when you get people, it's quality people. You don't want to work backwards. You join someone today and tomorrow you back to square one. So I'm very grateful of my channel. If I can do it, you can do it. So we are going to Mauritius, I know, we're all going. We are going to Cape Town to the conference.
Yeah, oh, wonderful.
We are going to
Good.
the conference next month on the 11th. We are all going to be there. So thank you to my channel, and let's keep on pushing.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank you.
Singh. Thank you. That's great. And she touched on all the work that her channel's doing, right? And when I spoke about these channels of distribution, I talked about collaboration. And that's what you're doing. You're collaborating with this team that you get to go out and build. And that is so fundamental to this business, because that is how you're going to leverage your time and your effort, is by bringing, like Toby Singh said, quality people into your business. Okay, well done. Thank you. Alrighty, so that was the returns. That 3+2 growth model I told you was only an example, guys. You can see Toby Singh's doing way more than the 3+2. And those were the returns. That's what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. But we have something else. We've got something called the XP Rewards Program. And this is something over and beyond what we pay our wealth engineers every month, because we give our wealth engineers rewards when they enjoy success here at DuePoint. So this is like an incentive program. So you might have an incentive program at work where your boss says to you, do so many phone calls or do this by the end of the month and I'll give you a little bonus, all right? This works in a similar way. It's great encouragement. So these little items floating past here, these are all the little tasks that we want our wealth engineers to engage in. And first one is very easy. Log into the website, right? Very simple. Log into the website, we give you XP points. And when you do all these tasks and you start growing all these XP points that you have and your channel starts to grow at the same time, we start rewarding you along the way, okay? So here's the XP rewards table. There's the two requirements there you can see. XP required, channel size requirements. So if you become a wealth engineer this evening, you will be a rank 0 wealth engineer because you've done 0. Yes. But within 24 hours, you could become rank 1. 1,000 points, easy to get. 4 products in your qualified channel. Straightforward. Boom, you're rank 1, and we'd be paying you 220 Rand at the end of that month, plus we'll give you a 55 Rand bonus out of the XP Rewards program. And when you start gaining more points and your channel begins to grow with the success that you have here at DuePoint, you start to rank up. So then it's a 100 Rand reward. 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, right? We give away tools that make you more effective at being a wealth engineer. So here's Patrick and Pumi with their lightning USB stick. Wonderful little device, plugs into anything, whether it's a phone, a tablet, laptops, computers, can be Apple or Android or Banana, it doesn't matter what you have. It plugs in, and more importantly, we put all our videos on there. So all the video footage that we have of our presentations, of the videos that we have online, everything gets put onto the stick so that you can show people, regardless of where you are, what time of the day it is, what you're doing, you get to show them the DuePoint opportunity, okay? Here's Donnie with his business cards at rank 7. At rank 7, we give you business cards that cost us 12,500 rand to print, because these are premium luxury business cards. No one in the country has business cards like this, I promise you. Because even the printing company said, why are you doing this? You must be crazy. 12,500 rand for a set of business cards. I said, it's our wealth engineers, they're at rank 7. I want them to go out and put a business card that no one has ever seen before in someone's hand. Because more than likely, people outside of this business have never heard of DuePoint, right? So if you say, oh, I've got this wonderful business opportunity, it's called DuePoint, you don't have to do any selling. They look at you funny and start walking away. But when you show them a 12,500 rand business card, they will take you more seriously, okay? Because no business person has a business card like the one you have. So tools to make you more effective as a wealth engineer. And then we get to rank 9. So this is one everyone gets excited about, right? I don't know why people get excited. Umhlanga rocks is fine, okay? But at rank 9, this is one of the rewards that is not a once-off. What do I mean by that? It's not a once-off. All the other ones, 55 rand is a once-off. You get to rank 2, we give you 100 rand. But when you get to rank 9, you join this club of wealth engineers that get taken on this holiday every single year. Every single year. You and your kids, 5-star resort, business class flights, all expenses paid trip for a full week, 7 days. Okay? And you get to enjoy this every year. Take a look at where we're going this year.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun, where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
Can you see why everyone gets excited over rank 9? Do you realize you have to get to rank 1 before you can get to rank 9? Right? It's so easy to get excited over something like this. It's an awesome, awesome reward to get to at rank 9. It's a privilege. but it's one that you would have earned. You would have worked hard to get to rank 9. And you fully deserve to go on this holiday with your family and to celebrate with DuePoint every single year with your kids. And imagine how that liberates your kids. Eh? The freedom that they have now to think, the possibility that they have in life. And what's the opposite of that? Them only understanding the limitation of what debt is and how it defines their lives. That's true. If 98% of the population is retiring financially dependent, let me tell you, 98% of families understand the stress of debt, of being in a position where you're limited constantly by your finances. And so we want to liberate you. And this is on the route there. This is only rank 9. Did you notice the table went to 20? You can imagine what's hiding behind the next few ranks. Okay? Here's one, rank 11. We're serious about making our wealth engineers debt-free. There was a cougar in the top left. We had to take it out. Oh, I think Ford is going to sue me if they watch this. Right? This is a car without a debit order at the end of the month. We want you to become debt-free. Right? So a lot of what we do here at DuePoint pushes you out of debt, hopefully. Okay. And some of the wealth engineers mentioned this. Our guests won't know it. This is another incentive that we have. So this is one that does have a time limit on it. We've extended the time limit to the end of March. You need to put 350 products into your channel. We take you away to Constantia in the Cape, probably one of the most beautiful places in South Africa. You get to stay in a 5-star boutique hotel with your family after you've flown business class to Cape Town, right? The best thing about flying business class is you can raise your nose at the people that walk past to economy. That's why they don't put business class at the back. They put it in the front so that you can show off to everyone, right? And they offer you champagne on the flight. Like Brendan says, they pick you up in a cloud, not Uber. Cloud picks you up and takes you to the airport. Takes you down to Cape Town where you get to eat at Michelin star restaurants. Those are the best restaurants in the world, right? You get to enjoy this. 4 days, Easter weekend, most expensive weekend to go away in the year. Guys, go for it. The wealth engineers that are tracking this incentive, you need to push. There's 2 months and 1 week left of this incentive. You guys need to drive it, drive the process. There wasn't a holiday in December. There's no crying in January because you don't have money. You keep pushing until you get this incentive done. Okay. So, at this stage, often some of the people come to us and they say, I think your accountants have got the maths wrong. You're spending way too much money on everyone except yourselves. So this is just a simple illustration of how our business model works here at DuePoint. So that on the left there is a traditional business model that engages with traditional marketing methods like TV, radio, billboards, all that advertising that we all get bombarded with on a daily basis, right? When you speak to Brendan how much PMD spends on marketing every day, it'll probably shock you. You will not see a DuePoint logo outside of this building because we don't do any marketing or advertising whatsoever. We rely on our wealth engineers. A simple thing of word of mouth to go out and tell people about the DuePoint opportunity. And so we don't spend the billions that the insurance industry spends on client acquisition. Instead, that portion of the premium that's often assigned to marketing and advertising, we give to our wealth engineers, but in the form of returns and rewards. So I hope that illustrates the point for you, so you don't have to ask me afterwards. Okay, and with that, we have our third and final wealth engineer coming up, Reverend Pastor. Come join me on stage, sir. Welcome. There you go.
Good.
Sure, looking at your numbers, it seems the later you join, the more money you make. 13th of October, so you've been in the business for 3 months. October, November, December. November, nothing. Suddenly in December, nearly 1,500 Rand a month. By January, you're aiming for 4,000 Rand at the end of this month.
Amen to that.
I'm sure you pray thanks for that.
Yeah, for sure. The
I mean,
Bible-
that 3+2 growth model, we project people to be earning 2,500 Rand after 6 months.
Yeah.
And you would have seen that presentation, I assume, when you joined DuePoint. So tell us about your first time. Remember, start with, I came to a presentation, Rob was presenting.
It's not true.
No,
That's not true.
oh,
That's not true.
I'm going to resign sooner than 60, I think.
Yeah, sorry for that, but truth
Okay,
is
tell
truth.
us your experience. Go for it.
Well, it was through a telephonic conversation. I was quite a difficult person. Matapelo called me and told me about the opportunity. But then, to cut the long story short, I came. And unfortunately, not you, but Brandon. Brandon was doing the presentation.
Doesn't matter who was presenting. Carry on.
Well, Brandon was presenting.
Okay.
For the type of work that I do, the part for that says the whole thing is risk-free. That's the part that is safe for me.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get people join you, introduce people to things, and then you are in trouble with your community. You know? So I was like, okay, I think they have a good model here. And actually, it's not false promises, it's actually work. So I love that about DuePoint, and during the presentation already in my mind, I'm like, I'm making a decision on this one. Because I felt this is good news. And as a preacher, if it is
Spread the
good
good
news,
news.
I should preach the good news. Yeah. So DuePoint is good news.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been very committed. We see you on the reports. We always pull reports every day to see what's happening. Your name comes up all the time. You've been heavily committed in the last 3 months. It's shown in the success that you've had.
Yeah.
What has kept you committed, and what has that kind of experience been for you over the last 3 months?
Financial freedom. Everyone has to know. In fact, from the biblical point of view, the Bible says money is the answer of all things. No money, trouble. Your prayers are not going quite well. There's no peace if there is no money. So we have to all fix that money issue. And I think DuePoint has provided a model where everybody can get into this thing and make money legally in South Africa. So I'm like, this is good. So financial freedom for everyone, for my children. I build a financial asset. So this is good news for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure the Bible says something about debt is sinful too, right?
Yeah, it says, owe no man, but to love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the sense. I only have to owe you love. So if it is debt, then it is trouble for you.
Yeah, I'll try that with a bank manager, but I don't think he'll listen to me.
Yeah, and even says you must pay the loans that you actually take. So it's trouble, yeah. So get away from debt. Run away from that thing.
Okay, wonderful. And can you give us any words of advice with regards to the success you've had? Is there anything you would like to share with us? Encourage the guests that are here this evening, perhaps?
Well, I think what is key, I think my sister also reiterated the same thing. It's not in the quantity, it's in the quality. Because the thing is, I'm a pastor of 2 churches here in Nigel and in Pretoria. I oversee a network of about 50 churches. So it's easy for me to just say, come to the office. But I can't bring quantity into the office. I should make sure that it is quality, because I'm building a financial asset for my children, for my family, and I'm thinking about the future. And I'm also more concerned about particularly my son.
Okay.
He's autistic, so I have to put on more money for him. So it's more about him actually for me here. So, and if this is good for me, I think it's good for everyone, because I'm careful about the things that I do. So the quality and then the growth. So it's not only personal activity. So it's important that you focus more on the quality and also the growth. So I think every one of us here, in order for us to really make money, we must personify the quality and the growth.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. And I hope you shared with them that beyond just building an asset, that you potentially could be taking them on holiday to Cape Town or Mauritius.
Yeah, my wife likes those things.
You don't like holidays?
I want to work so that they go to holidays. But because of the nature of the work that I do, I travel a lot and all of that. And I would really, really want to get my family to go to those places.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
because-
team that's working with you, the people, your builders that have helped you with the success that you've had.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have a photo in the future with all of us there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I see everyone in the foyer taking selfies in the foyer. I want to see you taking selfies on the beach in Mauritius.
All right?
Then your Facebook will light up, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Not Umhlanga Rocks. No one clicks like much on Umhlanga Rocks. So you've got your team here. Would you like to give them a message of encouragement for the next year? It's the beginning of 2017. We've all got big aspirations.
All right, for my team, this is a great opportunity to make money. And I'll emphasize, it's all about making money. But make sure that as you build your channel, as you do personal activity, you put a whole lot of thinking into the future. Because this thing is an asset that you are building. Long after you're dead, your children are going to take care of this thing and continue to benefit. So think more about tomorrow. So it's not only about your generation, it's about the coming generation as well. So your children should not be blaming you that you did nothing when you had an opportunity. So we should be able to, preach that message to the next generation and ensure that we do our part for our children.
Wonderful.
Yeah, think about the children. Yeah.
Pastor, thanks for the encouragement and congratulations again. Exactly. I think when you become a parent, your focus shifts off of yourself for the first time in your life and onto your children, right? We all want to do good by our children. She's laughing. She thinks the children don't deserve it. Maybe they're naughty children. I'm only kidding. But right, so there's so much you can do. We always think about money being the selfish thing, but it liberates you and empowers you to do so much more than just better your own position. Okay. Alrighty. So with that, there are hundreds of wealth engineers that are earning money at DuePoint. You might have thought that we discussed a lot of theory this evening, but it's being done. We had all the stories that our wealth engineers, our successful wealth engineers have shared with you. We even got accused that all these people were actors by one person, right? They are here this evening, our actors. Guys, you can go speak to our wealth engineers. I promise you, they're not actors. And as one of the wealth engineers said, there's nothing special about them. I always tease everyone. I say, they don't have doctorates in human behavior, right? They are no better than you. I was very serious when I said it's a level playing field. You all have equal opportunity to get to rank 9. You can do it in less than 12 months. In less than 12 months, you'll be earning about 30,000 Rand a month by the time you get there. It's something to aim for. And like the pastor says, don't stress about tomorrow. Don't only think about tomorrow. Think into the future, a year, 5 years, a generation into the future, because that's the commitment you're going to need to make a success out of this business. Alrighty, so you might be wondering what the products are. We know it's not milkshake, right? We have 3 products. They've been designed to collaborate with each other. They've got individual benefits that speak into our lives from a financial perspective. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product, okay? 274 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. In your name, you've got full access to the fund. It sits with Sanlam. You can pull the money out within 72 hours. It's not a notice deposit. It's not a fixed deposit, okay? On top of that, we give you a little bit of insurance, personal accident cover, to the value of 100,000 Rand, okay? So if you have this product and you're investing money every month, something happens to you, you get killed in a car accident or shot or whatever the case, we'll pay your beneficiaries 100,000 Rand, plus whatever you have in that investment. Okay, so this is the first product, the investment product. The second product is called Wealth Guard. This is strictly an insurance product. 249 Rand a month, but this time you get personal accident cover to the value of 1 million Rand. Okay? The beauty of our personal accident cover products is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18. So it doesn't matter what age you are. You can be 80 years old. You can be diabetic. You can have cancer. You can still take out this product. The premium will still be 249, and the value in the benefit will still be 1 million Rand. Okay? So it's accessible to everyone. The third product is Wealth Points. This tackles our finances from a different perspective. We are all spending money every month. This allows you to save money on what you're spending every month. So we've got these partners that you see listed below there that you get access to. If you spend money with the partners, you get to save money. We've gone to all these businesses and negotiated discounts with these people. The premium is 249 Rand a month, or the subscription, should I say. It's 249 a month. You retain 100 Rand in the form of wealth points. Okay, 1 Rand to a wealth point. Awesome partners. Flight Center. We've got the Entertainer, which is over 1 million Rand in buy one, get one free vouchers. We are all spending a fortune on groceries every month. We have ShopRite Checkers. You get a discount on your full trolley every time you go to ShopRite Checkers. Okay, so if you want immediate value out of any of the products, this is the product to take. Okay, so those are the 3 products. You can take out 1 product or all 3 products, makes no difference to us. Different benefits. Okay, if you have any questions about the products, come speak to me after the presentation. Straightforward, I think. I remind you of the support that you get here. We are not going to make you a wealth engineer and then send you into the wilderness to fend for yourself, right? Lean into the support that we offer here. Like I said, the mandate of the leadership and the executives and the client service team here is to make our wealth engineers as successful as possible, because we can only be successful as a business if our wealth engineers are successful. So we've set up these facilities, which we spent a fortune on, for you guys, for our wealth engineers. You can do your own presentations here. You can use our boardrooms for your meetings. You can use the free Wi-Fi, drink all the free tea and coffee, sit on the iPads, use the breakout rooms, use client service when you have a question. You can even set up strategic meetings with Brendan or myself about your business, right? We want to see you guys successful in this. We live stream all the events out so that you guys have the ability to grow your businesses outside of Gauteng. So we stream all these events to the entire country, globally actually, right, for your benefit, okay? And that brings us to the decision slide. Remember at the beginning of the presentation, I said you're going to have about 20 minutes to make a decision? Have you made one yet? You have? No is also a decision. Guys, the decision is not about weighing up the benefits. We've created a platform, a system, a business that allows you to engage with it to make money for yourself. It works, right? The people that are successful in this business are no better than you and me. They're just putting in time, effort, commitment into the business. That's all it requires. So when I ask you to make this decision, it's not about, is DuePoint a good enough business for me to get involved in? No, that's not the decision. The decision is, can I sacrifice time every week and commit it to DuePoint? If you're thinking in your head already, and Tubby saying mentioned it, I don't have time. Sorry, Sandra, you mentioned it. Oh, I don't have time. Guess what? You have to make the time. It is the last excuse I want to hear. Sorry, I don't have time. Very busy at work. You have to make the time. Getting to rank 9, earning R1 million a year, it comes at a price. I am sure you've got better things to do than listen to me on a Tuesday evening. But we are here out of want or need. Doesn't matter. And so the sacrifice required is low risk. It's time. I'm not going to ask you to buy all the stock. I'm not going to sign you into contracts. If you don't do the business, cancel your product, move along. Right? As the pastor said, it's very low risk. So I joined. He felt comfortable with it. Getting people to join a business and asking them for 10 or 20 or 30,000 Rand without any guarantees, that's not a great business to get involved in. So I ask you, in your mind, have you made a commitment that you can spend time on this business every week? Because that's the only way you're going to see success. Okay? And that's the decision I want you to make. Alrighty. We make joining very easy. Like I said, we've got free Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi password is on the counter. Log on to the free Wi-Fi. If you've got your own smartphone, you can jump onto the website, click the big blue apply button. You'll become a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. Unless you don't know what your ID number is, then maybe only join tomorrow. In 7 minutes, you can be a wealth engineer. You can start phoning the people this evening. You can be rank 1 by tomorrow. Okay. We've got our conference. Guys, this is the biggest event for us every year. I know because I'm stressing about it every single day at the moment. It is 3 weeks away. A little bit less, 2.5 weeks away. If you become a wealth engineer, please look at getting a ticket. There's less than 50 tickets available, okay? It is a celebration of success for DuePoint. People do not know DuePoint outside of these walls. That's where all the successful wealth engineers, the passionate wealth engineers get together, and really what it is a party, right? Everyone likes to go to a party. Come celebrate with us. I promise you, we'll encourage you and motivate you for the rest of the year. Bring your team with you, right? Commit to this business. And get business cards, please. Every month, we issue a challenge to our wealth engineers. We call it a wealth quest. You see that little pink circle over there, wealth quest? This is the challenge this month. You bring 20 people onto your first point and make sure that they get paid up before the end of this month. And I'll give you 10,000 Rand. Just to get you started, to get you out of the hole that is December. We all need it, right? Do it. 20 people. You can do it. 20 people. You've got a week left. A week left. That's only 3 people a day you need to bring. You can do it. 10,000 Rand. Okay? This is something we do every single month. So we have a different challenge every month. It's more for you guys to be able to engage in, to benefit from this business. We have a YouTube channel. All our videos on the YouTube channel. You can go look at our very first presentation up to the presentation that we have tonight. There's hundreds of videos there. We've got training. Everything is on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll notify you whenever a new video is posted up. You can run your business from your mobile phone or your tablet. We've got a mobile app that runs on Apple and Android. You can run your business from the palm of your hand. And that's our presentation. I'm going to ask Brendan to come up, and he's going to give you a couple of words in summary. If you have any questions, come speak to me. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Well, because we discovered this evening that it's only when I'm giving the presentation that people join, we thought we'd better bring me up at the end. We've got 120 people here, and nobody's going to join. We don't want that to happen. Folks, I'm not going to take any more time of yours. You've had a long presentation with us, but tonight is all about recognizing those people who have made the difficult decision. It's an awkward and unusual decision to choose to do something that is not of the ordinary, like employment or starting your own business. In our heads, through a sort of industrial age kind of education, we believe that those are the only 2 valid choices. You're just not going to make money off of anything else. And then to reinforce that, we on a daily basis have scams and schemes that take our money and fool us by using the same mechanism. Well, folks, that's not what we do here. As Rob has shown you tonight, we're very serious. We're very serious about what we're doing here. We are a 7-decade-old insurance company. We have got a lot of capital behind this. We have built these offices. We have created this technology. And we're putting a lot on the table. We wouldn't be doing that as a joke. We wouldn't be doing that as something that's just, like let's try something and see if it works. No, we've done this. We know it works. Now we want to make it work in South Africa. And that's what we're doing. And so, this evening, if you feel like you still have some kind of objection to this, okay, that's fine. You do need to be asking yourself, well, what is it that you're going to use to change your circumstances? It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Indian, colored, poor, or rich in South Africa. You need to make the decision, what am I going to do to change my life now? This is not something that's going to change your life this month. And that's something that people struggle with the most. They want to be rich overnight. They see the people with the 35,000 a month and this, and they think it all happened overnight. It didn't. It didn't. Even the people who are earning 5,000 have already committed 3 months of their lives to this. The guys who are earning 35 plus are on a year of doing this already. Make the decision and then make it every day that you wake up, that you're changing what and where you are right now. Make that decision every day. And don't give up when people let you down. This is people business. People are going to let you down. It's very disappointing. Even here tonight, 80% of you will do nothing with DuePoint. Do you know how that breaks our heart? Now, whether you're in the 20% or the 80%, that's your decision this evening. I don't know which, but I know that 80% of you are going to do nothing. You are going to have given up already tomorrow. Your parents are going to laugh at you. Your friends are going to tell you you've joined a pyramid scheme. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. Not even understanding that there's no loss in this situation for you. No money is leaving your hands this evening. Folks, it's a decision now to change the future. We've made the decision. We've committed the capital, the time and the energy, and we will continue to do so. Whether you join us or not is now up to you. So folks, if you have any questions, come and ask us. But we want to get to know you, and we want to see your lives changed. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you outside. And thanks for the guys watching live. That's great. It's like 2 hours. No, not 2 hours. 1 hour,